My name is Jessie. I am here again to share another recipe with you. This one is for a muffin recipe that my mom has made for many years. She got it from one of her really good friends, and it's been one of our favorites. I'm making this. This is night. I'm making this for our breakfast tomorrow morning. I'm not that big of a morning person, so I do try to prepare our breakfast the night before, especially because I have to make so much from scratch. It's not as easy when you're corn-free and dairy and gluten-free, to just open up a box of something and eat. So these muffins they are going to be gluten-free. They are gluten-free, they are dairy-free, and they are corn-free. They're also processed sugar-free. The sweetener is, the bananas. These are for banana muffins. So the bananas lend a lot of sweetness to this recipe. There is also 1 tablespoon of maple syrup in this. Now, to make it corn-free, I do have to mix up my own baking powder, but that's very easy. To make baking powder, you do need cream of tartar, and somewhere I have baking soda right here. So these 2 ingredients are necessary if you need them to be corn-free. I have heard that there are some corn-free baking powders. I have not been able to locate them in stores, but where we live there aren't a whole lot of health food places either. So if you live in a bigger city, you might be able to find that in a store. I haven't been able to. All right, so the ingredients for this recipe is 1 cup of gluten-free flour, and I'm just using a pre-made blend. This one is Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking blend. And this blend does have xanthan gum in it, which is, I am told, it is also possible for that to be corn derived. So far, we have not had a problem with that. We've had a problem with many other corn derived ingredients, even in small quantities. But this one, by the time I had found out that it was also on that list, we had been using it still and had not found that we reacted to it. So I don't necessarily purposefully use it. When I do blend my own flour, I do not use xanthan gum. I use psyllium husk fiber. This blend happened to be on sale recently, so I went ahead and bought it, because anything to make it a little bit cheaper, I do jump on that. So gluten-free flour, a cup of almond flour. I didn't have quite enough of the almond flour, so I did add some millet flour that I blended up in my coffee grinder that I use just for that purpose. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We are going to replace that with 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar and 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. When you blend your own baking powder, it's going to be 1 part baking soda, 2 parts cream of tartar, and 1 part starch. So I just leave that out when I make it up as I add it to my recipes. But I could make up a big batch of it and do 1 part baking soda, 2 parts cream of tartar, and 1 part tapioca starch. I'm just going to add it directly into my flour though, so I'm not going to bother with that extra starch. And then we've got another teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of that maple syrup, 1/2 a cup of melted coconut oil. Now, I I realized that I did not have coconut oil on hand. I did have some vegetable oil, which I don't generally tend to prefer, but that's what I've got on hand right now. So that's what I'm using tonight. 4 ripe bananas and 2 eggs. So I'm gonna start mixing. What I'll do is I will blend the dry ingredients first, and then I have an immersion blender here. I am going to, this is kind of my secret that I've really liked doing. I did have a couple of bananas from earlier in the week that were starting to turn, but I only had 2, so I peeled them and stuck them in the refrigerator. Now I've got 2 more bananas. I'm going to add these 2 to these 2. And I'm going to add all the wet ingredients in this, and then I will blitz it with my immersion blender before I add it to the dry ingredients. Now once I've added everything together, then I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. When you're cooking with gluten-free, if you let all of your ingredients sit for a few minutes before sticking it directly into the oven, it will help it rise. It will help the gluten-free flour to absorb the liquids properly, and it'll rise. It'll give you a better end product. So that is what I'm gonna do. Now I have changed this recipe a little bit for my own self. I like adding cinnamon, a good dash of cinnamon, a dash of cardamom, and I do add some walnuts. I like crushing walnuts and adding that in as well. So I am going to mix this up and get it mixed up. Now blitzing all of this up ahead of time before I add it in here, instead of just mixing it, it really eliminates any big lumps of banana that I'm not able to get out all the way with just mixing. I prefer it. It gives it a silkier sort of texture in the end. Fresh egg was a little bit dirty. To crush these. I'm going to use them. We're going to see if this works. It's just one of those silicone reusable zipper bags and a rolling pin. It's working just fine. All right. Perfect. There's a few bigger pieces, but that was pretty quick, and it didn't puncture the bag anywhere, which is always my problem with the regular Ziploc bags. All right, and we've got the liquids. You can see our big pile of bananas back here. We go through them pretty quickly. So I usually have to buy extra. Bananas if I want to make banana bread or banana muffins or anything. Buy extra on purpose so that they can get extra ripe. Scrape the bottom, make sure getting everything mixed in. And we're ready to turn the oven on and get our muffin tin all ready to go. Looks like this is making 20 muffins. That'll be a good muffin breakfast for tomorrow. Sometimes I can get away with putting some of these aside for another day, but oftentimes my children continue begging for more. They love these muffins. This is one of our favorite recipes. My mom makes it oftentimes when we go over there. It's a treat. All right, and the oven is ready for these, so I'm going to put them in for 15 to 20 minutes, and then they'll come out and they'll be ready to cool overnight and be perfect in the morning. And they are out of the oven after it did take 18 minutes for them to get this nice golden brown tops on them, and they're ready for the morning. Now, what are easy breakfasts that you have? What are some easy breakfasts you have come across, especially anything gluten-free? That has been a challenge. It would be easy just to go to the store and buy cereal, but it's just not easy, especially now that we have to also keep corn out of our diets. That has added a whole element of difficulty. But we do make it work, and it is worth it for everybody to be well adjusted and not up all night with whatever it is. So So let me know down below what your favorite breakfast item is, and give me ideas. I would love to have some more ideas. This is great, but like I said earlier, I have to buy extra bananas on purpose and hide them away for us to be able to do this. And you know, as delicious as these are, I do want other things in our diet. I don't just want to eat muffins. So give me more ideas below, and I do have a bread recipe coming up, so come back and look for that coming up. And thank you, and I'll see you next time.